Cheers. Oh. I probably turned my fan on in advance. Okay. Washed out. How's it going? Ooh. What a day I've had. Feels like my camera is going in and out of focus. It's not being good to me today. All right, so I think I'm going to start with some light overhead press. I'll get in volume, so I'll go to failure. Spend a little bit of time warming up my shoulders. All right, so where's my bar? Here it is. Ugh. All right. Maybe I'll lower the camera just a bit. How are you doing tonight? How are you doing this fine Wednesday night? I had to think about it. All right, let's get the safeties on. So these things aren't sliding all over the place. Sounds a good warm-up one. What did I call my stream today? All right. Oh, I just met my, I had a meeting with my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt. We had a family gathering, the first one since COVID, and the first time I have seen my grandmother since I was like 8 years old. What is this like, dude? Whew. It was an interesting day. I have an interesting family, but then again, who doesn't? Oh, my mother actually made me a little bit mad today, but kept it to myself. Didn't want to start drama, or rather let her initiate drama. I get my fans going. It's really warming up in here fast. Power that. Speed up. I got too much stuff here. That's better. Get some air moving in here. I'm almost in need of a haircut. I got my legs back. The soft tissue damage in my knee is recovered. I just got some scar tissue to still work out. I should go on my bike. That's what I should do. I should actually warm up my knee on my bike. That would be the smart thing to do. quiet night, but that's understandable as I haven't been regular on Twitch these days. I've been working particularly long hours and the work has been tough and I just haven't been putting myself in front of the computer. I've been going to the gym, doing primarily push, pull. All right, next one. Can't quite read your name from here. Give me a sec. BFG, aka Josh. How's it going? For myself, it's going all right. My knee is mostly better. The soft tissue damage has repaired itself. I've got some scar tissue to work out, and I still have my bone bruising. So I can't kneel on my knee at all, or I can't even even if I rub my hand against my knee, that hurts on the other one. But I'm able to train again. I did my first leg day 2 days ago. I went light for everything involving the knee, and then I ended up doing 500-pound glute bridges. The glute bridges didn't affect my knee at all. It's just thrust and squeeze the ass. And I was like, okay, I'm not gonna go past 300 pounds. That's the limit I set for myself. And then like I did 225 like nothing, 315 like nothing, and then okay, let's add on another 2 plates. Okay, did that. Another 2 plates. I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to feel this. This is where it's starting to get tough. And so today, my grandmother was in my city because her sister passed away. So she came for the funeral, and she is getting on a plane at 4:30 in the morning and heading off to the other side of the country again. I haven't spoke to my grandmother. I haven't seen my grandmother since I was a young kid, maybe like 8 years old, because my mother disowned my grandmother, and she ended up messaging me. So she ended up disowning my grandmother. Then my grandmother moved away. No idea where she went to. She ended up finding me and messaging me at just before the pandemic. But because of the pandemic, we were never able to meet up. And so this social gathering was myself, my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt. And it was tiring in some ways. My mother actually made me mad today. Normally, I just let whatever just roll over me. I know how my mother is. But we were there, and this is the first time I'd seen my grandmother since I was a kid. And my mother made a point to talk over me the whole time. So I couldn't say anything without her interrupting, but she wouldn't interrupt. She would interrupt with a voice higher than mine. And I don't even think she was consciously. I don't think she was consciously aware what she was doing. But I was actually doing tests. So she talked. I talked a little louder. She talked a little louder. Okay, let's see. So I'll talk a little louder. She talks a little louder, and then I'll talk soft. And so when she's screaming because she's still at the temperature up here, or not temperature, the volume up here. Meanwhile, we're just like around in a circle, and she doesn't be screaming. Um, so I just stopped talking. I didn't want to fight with her for control of the conversation. I just listened for like a good hour and a half, and then it is just a J. How's going? AJ. My cousin's name is AJ, and I remember there was a movie that came out when I was a kid. It was like Gone Girl, or there was a sequel. The first one, the main character was this kid who was allergic to bees. He ended up trying to find a present for this little girl that he liked, getting stung by bees, passed away. And I remember watching that with my cousin AJ and his mom. And his mom was like inconsolable watching this because my cousin had to share the same name with the main character, and my cousin was also allergic to bees. You're a pro boxer with 18-0. That would be that's quite up there. That's not even. Oh. So where are you boxing out of? Because I imagine at 18-0, you'd be rather well known. Oh, but I like boxing. I like the technique behind everything. I don't like getting hit. Doesn't feel good on my nose. I'd rather wrestle. But once you're competing, in order to get 18-0, that would have to be your life for a long time, as well as talent and all that. Congrats on becoming pro today. What weight class do you fight in? Yeah, so welterweight. So I'll just finish off my story with my visiting my mother, my grandmother, my aunt. So my mother kept talking over me the whole time. So I just, okay, you know what? I don't want to start drama. I'm seeing my grandmother for the first time since I was maybe like 7, 8 years old. So I just sat back, I listened for like an hour, hour and a half, didn't say a word. And then my aunt had some bodybuilder desserts. So she had like these protein balls, that like coconut protein balls. And she was like, well, she wanted to share them with me. So we talked about a bit, and then I popped them in my mouth, and my mouth was full. I couldn't eat. And then so my aunt made a comment on such. And then after not speaking for an hour and a half, my mother made a quip about, oh, now he'll be able to stop talking. And so, okay, that was, I can't even retort because I got my mouth full. And so at that point I was annoyed. And then probably like 10 minutes later, she made a quip about kids and stuff. And I'm just like, so if you want kids, go pop them out yourself. Hey, Sulfuric, how's it going? I haven't been too regular on the computer these days. I've been working quite hard, and I've been just getting my workouts done, right? I've been going to the gym an hour and a half, 2 hours, go there, get it in, done, and then I got other things to do in the day. Um, but since I busted my leg, it's been exclusively push, pull, and I was actually getting sick of it. I did my first leg day 2 days ago. I got DOMS in my calves right now. It's great. I love it. Yeah, you need to, right? The more training you get in, like if you're training against somebody, if you got your experience plus you get say like 40 hours of training in before the competition compared to your opponent's like 15, that's a huge advantage. Although it's going to be more than that, right? Like depending on how long you have to prepare. But that's why you see a lot of people who are on PEDs not to get muscular, but just so that they can recover faster, so that they get more training in. I got aches and pains for having my knee busted up and limping everywhere. I started having neck pains. It's just been throwing me off kilter, and I haven't had issues with my neck in over a decade. And now out of nowhere, I have to be careful. Whew. How's that work? I don't think I'm going to have enough water today. All right. So I'm going to put together some dumbbells right now. I think that's what I'm going to do. But I actually have to put them together. Okay, there's got to be some sex jokes for that thing, but ooh. Yeah, I'm not sure how much I'd average out a day right now because I don't count a lot of my activities as training. Well, as exercise per se, right? Like I do stretching in the morning, stretching before I go to bed. I'll go for walks. I'll do a little bit of cardio, but for me, it's typically an hour and a half of weights to 2 hours. Um, if I'm at the gym, I would do it like basically 6 days a week. If I had a choice, I've had to ease off a little bit since I haven't been able to do leg days, just because I haven't been recovering. When you're doing when I'm doing like 2 to 3 chest, 2 to 3 back days a week. All right, there we go. Yeah, it's a little bit of a late night, but I had all that stress from dealing with my mother's drama today. I figure I'd be able to be productive and turn it into workout fuel. right, let's hope I get a good song next. This playlist is a little slow for me. Let's try this. I don't have the fan directly on me. Well, that's right. Crap. I have a weight that I left last time because I couldn't put it away. It was stuck. All right, that's one. Damn it, man. Was that the wrong way? Oops, I think I put that the wrong way. Crap. All right, let's get this. This thing's stuck. I can't get it off. There we go, finally. Jesus Christ. That's a good way to break my equipment. You have a question. Well, asking questions is free. By all means. Is that Final Fantasy IV? King's Quest IV? Because that was the first PC game I ever beat. I got that, like, I grew up with DOS. The same time I was playing that, I was also playing Mickey Mouse's, like, mix and match games. I remember playing with my brother and us spending hours trying to figure out trying to figure out the game. And then my brother gave up, and I was able to figure out the rest by myself. And so it's just a nostalgic game for me. See, I had a harder time playing the earlier ones. And part of that was because I didn't understand the fairy tales as well. Like some of them, you actually have to understand some fairy tales in order to, like there's that gnome who's got the funny name that you have to put in reverse, and I'm just like, and then later when I was in university, I downloaded them all over again, and I beat them one to the end. And at the time, I got some VGAs as well, like remakes, where they had some remakes with like point and click. Well, yeah, but I was really happy to be playing that game when I did, and I think I went pretty deep into it with the I was trying to make different voices. I put a lot of energy into that stream. I had a lot of fun. It's just I haven't had much time for video games or for computers the last several weeks. And when I have been playing games, it's just been sitting down, pick something that I can beat in like I just play it for like an hour at a time and then move on. So Pandora's Box, yeah. Well, see, one of my favorite games, like my absolute favorite games, is a DOS game called Dungeons of the Unforgiven, and it is brutally hard. I learned how to crack that game as a kid. There was without any internet, without any instruction, I learned how to manipulate the game files. Okay, so this game is a dungeon crawler. You have a first-person view, and you walk through a dungeon. You can open your map, and there are like 100 floors you can go down. The deeper you go, the stronger enemies that there are. There are enemies that if they poison you, like there's enemies that if they hit you once, you drop a level. And so you drop a level, and you lost all the experience in that level. But then to raise your level again, every time you raise your level, it costs more and more rupees. And even though you drop the level, it still is the same amount of cost to raise your level. There are monsters that if they hit you once, they lower your stats. And there's also monsters that if they hit you, they raise your stats. And then as you're walking, you can walk into these pits that will drop you down, and suddenly, holy crap, I've gone down 7 floors. I'm going to die if I can't find my way up. And your character dies once, it's game over. And there's several different ways to play the game. I learned, like what I did is I went through the Windows files, and I saved the game, and I figured out what files were updating. And I saved those and saved it as a save file. And then if I died, I learned how to refresh all those files and put them in. And meanwhile, I'm young, so I'm grade 3 at this point. Like I'm grade 3, grade 4 playing this game. And then I learned what the map files were, so I could have a map and then save this map, separate that from my save files, insert the save files into this map so I could bring my character there, and so I could find a monster that would hit me and raise my stats so I could keep going. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with that game. And then the downside of that game is it's prone to crash your computer. Doesn't matter what computer you have. It's one of those games that eventually will crash your computer. Just the blue screen, you're done. And so my mother, who knew a couple things about computers, like defragmented everything and found out like, oh, this thing is causing computer issues. So she deleted the game from the computer, and that was that. Yeah, they were more accessible, but I actually didn't have the full version as a kid. I only had the free trial, and the free trial was a very large game that you'd probably never get to, like you'd probably never finish, at least without basically hacking the game. Oh, I'm getting hot already. Yeah, I grew up with DOS games. I grew up with original Game Boy, NES, and then later on, online script MMORPGs, where you play MMORPGs, but there was no character moving around. You just had a screen that was your stats, and you had an arrow button that you could move around, and you had coordinates for where you were. And then, if you're lucky, some of them had like pictures that would show the enemies that you're actually fighting. My first online game was my first MMORPG was Race War Kingdoms. I ended up, I was probably like 15 years old, 14, 15 years old, and I sold off half of all my items for $2,000 American at the time. And I never spent any money on the game. Wow, a raid here. Big CJ Worth. Thanks for the raid. How's it going? I'm assuming you're also a fitness streamer. Cool. Well, your muscles don't know when you're working out, but it's not so simple of an issue, right? If you want to build muscle, you need hypertrophy. So you need the stimulus for muscle growth, which is hypertrophy. You need as much volume of that as you can get, and you're going to get more hypertrophy because, like over like a month, over a year, by adequately recovering. So there's the hypertrophy, and then there's the recovery phase. So you tear down the muscle tissue, stimulus for growth, recover, do it again. And so when you're training, like science, the science behind it is you want optimal muscle growth, you have to train that muscle 2 to 3 times a week. Whether it's 2 or 3 times, the science doesn't really know, because it comes that like there's not one that's definitely better than the other, because it comes down to how hard you're training versus how you are recovering. If you're training such that you're only able to train twice a week, but you're training, fully recovering, training again, and the amount that you're training is that the recovery period just ends up so that you're training twice a week, then you're training basically as efficiently as possible as you can. Meanwhile, if you can do the same thing in 3 days a week. Thank you. So you stream fitness, I'll check you out. So I got Dex, Himalaya, Light, Crod Crawdad 330, and thanks for the raid, Big C J Worth. And then of course there's Troa Black. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but it's more or less a light day for me today. I had injured my knee. The soft tissue damage has recovered. I've got some scar tissue workout. I did my first leg day in like 4 weeks, like 2 days ago. I've still got bone bruising, but that's going to last for months. But it's not going to hold me back from training. I just have to be careful. I have to keep my eye on it. Just be cognizant of everything that goes on. But for 4 weeks, all I've been doing is push, pull, push, pull, push, pull. I was starting to get sick of it. Today was it's just gonna be a light day. It's like I'm streaming a little bit late, but I was meeting with my mother, my grandmother, and my aunt, and my mother was stressing me out. So I figured I'd turn that stress into workout fuel today. I got good music playing. I got good company. All right, so there is no sidelining my stream. Okay, for like my streams are first and foremost for myself. I am looking to like spice up my workouts, just make my home workouts enjoyable again, and I'm happy to have all you guys here with me, able to put myself out here. I don't mind sharing my thoughts on basically any topic. I'm just happy to have you guys here and joining me on my journey as I try to improve my physique one day at a time. So I'm going to start increasing the weight after this. I think I'm going to bring out the fat grips, get some forearm work in. Maybe I want to do some push-ups. Maybe today's just going to be an arm day, although, whew. I got good music playing. What I miss most from the pre-pandemic days was, or is, partner dancing. Before the world shut down, I was doing partner dancing 3 days a week, at least, on top of all my training. I started with swing dancing, then I went to blues, West Coast, the Latin dances, the ballroom dances, some miscellaneous dances like nightclub two-step. Mr. Ratata. Man, you never know I was a Pokemon Blue guy myself. But I'm actually happy to have my legs back. When I've been streaming for the last 4 weeks, I've been more rickety. I haven't had my hips. And now that my knee, the soft tissue damage in my knee is recovered, I can roll through my legs. Get those hips in the game. My knee is a lot better. I did my first leg day 2 days ago. I did anything involving the knee. I was very careful. I went very light. I tried to do more functional movements, like lunges. I've been on the bike for 10 minutes twice a day for about a week and a half already. And there's a big difference in my knee, whether it's warmed up or not. Right now, I can still feel, I'm still in the process of breaking up some scar tissue, and as well as there's the bone bruising. But the bone bruising, I'm just going to have to learn to deal with. But I went there, I was doing I did a little bit of piecemeals. I hit my hamstrings, I hit my glutes. My glutes, I was like, okay, I'm going to set myself a limit. I'm not going to go too heavy. And next thing you know, I'm doing 500 pounds, 495 pound glute bridges. And I just couldn't stop myself. I was having too much fun. Yeah, I did Thriller on Halloween. It didn't go that well because twofold. First, um, the one that I posted, you can actually see my knee give out. I did. You do a what's the move? It's back, forward, turn, and look. And I turn, and this leg sort of gave out on me, and so okay, my knee is not holding up. And then there's certain things you gotta do where you gotta like throw your arms and you gotta like shake your head. And I've been having neck issues since I've been limping a lot, and it's been throwing my whole body off kilter. And so I was getting a little bit of pains in my neck. So I'm like, okay, you know what? This is the take. No matter how it turns out, this is the one I'm going to show. On a personal note, yeah. The focus has always been on why you don't want this exercise. I'm not sure I understand, but thanks for coming. Like I'm not sure I understand what you're trying to say there with on why you don't want this exercise. I refuse. I refuse the down. You can't make, well, I don't know, depends. If I'm in a happy-go-lucky mood, maybe progression would work. Normally, no, I'm too stubborn. On a side note on Notion, or a side note on Notion, has 2018, I herniated my disc and I tore my glute. And so for 2 years, I was going to regular physiotherapy. I was doing everything the doctor ordered. I started taking up yoga, um, and it was a hard recovery. Okay, I'm gonna add some weight. I got some factors here. I'm just gonna switch. All right, there's one. Yeah, you get different physiotherapists. I have one that's pretty good that I trust. And before the pandemic, I used to I'd get a massage, deep tissue massage, once every 2 weeks. I've only had one massage in the last year and a half, minimizing my social footprint. Now having fun with this song. My max bench I actually figured that out not too long ago. I did 365 and I was sore for like 2 weeks. These days, like right now, I've been doing push pull, and I've been going up to 315 every session. So I'll typically do like a 315 for like a set of 4, 275 for like sets of 8 to 12, depending on how I'm feeling. But I've never actually been one much for bench as well. My go-to for chest is the cables or flies. I find it relatively easy to put a lot of volume into my chest, so I find it easy to grow my chest compared to other muscles. Yeah, there's another streamer, Destroyed. He ended up getting me motivated to try my max bench, and I did it, and I actually threw a rib out. I was sore for a couple of weeks, and I didn't know why. And I went to physiotherapy, and he's like, "Oh, look at this!" And he popped my rib back in, and so I actually popped my rib out doing my max bench. Yeah, I've my computer filters out the music, so I have it, but it doesn't broadcast it to the stream, so I don't get DMCA'd after, and all my streams don't get muted. Yeah, but Twitch automatically mutes the VODs though. So if I have music on it, I've been saving. I I haven't been saving the videos from the very beginning, which I regret. I started making some highlights so I could get my initial condition back when I started in January. Um, and I've made a lot of progress since then because from October 2020 to January 2021, I went from 230 pounds to 180 pounds, and then I jumped from 180 back up to 190, and that's more or less where I've been sitting. And I've been trying to polish 190 as well as I can. But October 2020, I was training for a max deadlift. My goal was I was doing 575 pounds for a deadlift, aiming for 600, and then our second lockdown hit, and suddenly there was no gym. The weather was crappy. The first lockdown, I just took all my weights, I brought them outside, carrying down 3 flights of stairs every day, and I trained outside. I did more calisthenics outside. I go to like these playgrounds that were basically abandoned, do like pull-ups, muscle-ups on the playground. Want to become famous? Not really, no. I'm just happy to have a few regulars. There we go. Anyways, next set. Put these weights together. They're coming apart on me. These fat, like this is 120. This is 35-pound dumbbell with the fat grips, it doesn't feel like 35 pounds. Yeah, thanks for coming by. I'll try to stream more regularly coming up. It's just work has been really, really draining, but there should be an end in sight relatively soon. Oh, after you're done, you can't make a fist. Whew. All right, so now it looks like there's a bit of delay in the camera. I'm going to try to do something here before it gets better. All right, so what I want to do today, I think I want to, maybe I'll do some push-up type exercises. Oh yeah, I got to follow Sway Art. Thanks for the follow. How's this for the camera? I can't kneel on this knee. I thought there was new chat, so I went to go look, and yeah, since I've been doing more bench, I can really feel my chest activation come in. I'm almost in need of a haircut. Left to my own devices, I crack myself up. Oh. Oh. So how is everybody today? Where are you guys all from? It's interesting being able to meet people all over the world on this platform, particularly with when I stream late. It tends to be more regular hours for people at different spots in the world to my own. All right, so back to the fat grips. So I want to check out this guy's stream here. All right, so Big CG Worth, I'm going to give him a follow. Where is the there it is. Oh man, I'm jealous of his gym. That is a nice home gym. Oh. All right, so let's take the camera up a bit. All right, let's get this out. I built this one myself. There's a lot of lurkers from the raid. Oops. All right, so I don't know how much longer I want to work out. The music isn't necessarily doing it for me anymore. Let's find. Try this. All right, wait a sec. All right. I'm going to do hammer curls. My form is a little bit extra hard with the back grips. Ah. You know, I sort of want to go on my bike to finish off my workout. I can probably put this away now. I think I'll get on my dips instead. And how's it going, buddy? I had a very interesting night. I had I met my grandmother for the first time since I was like 7, 8 years old. My mother had basically disowned her mother, and then my grandmother moved away. She ended up contacting me just before the pandemic, but we never had a chance to meet up because of the way the world went. And my grandmother's sister died. The funeral was in my city this week, so she was here. We all met. My mother actually really annoyed me. My mother's a character, feeds off drama, and I wasn't going to buy into that. I'm not going to start causing drama when my grandmother's there. But basically, anytime I spoke, she would speak over top of me. She would like interrupt me, cut me off, and then she would do it by just talking over me. So if I was talking this loud, she talked louder. And then so I did a little experiment where I'd say something, but I'd say it at a medium volume, and she'd start talking louder. And then I'd say something a little bit louder, she'd start talking louder, and then finally I had her, so I just dropped off, and she's screaming, like yelling, when we're all just in a circle. And I'm just like, okay, so I see what's going on here. Don't even think she consciously realized she was doing it. But I wasn't mad yet. I was just, okay, whatever. I spent an hour and a half just listening to their conversations. And then my aunt, so there's my aunt, myself, my grandmother, and my mom. My aunt brought me these bodybuilder snacks. They're protein powder, cocoa, caramel extract, and coconut oil, and they were all blended into these like delicious balls. And so she gave me one, and I had my mouth full. I couldn't speak. And just before she gave it to me, we had like a couple. We just talked back and forth, just like really briefly, and then I popped it in my mouth. And then what does my mother say? She says, "Oh, at least you can't keep talking now," as if I was like talking the whole time. Meanwhile, that was her. then I couldn't respond because my mouth was full. And then, so then after that, she ended up bringing up when I was going to get it to her grandkids and stuff. But she said that in like she did it in an annoying way, so I was not too keen on it. Zain Abdel, yeah, Abdel. How's it going? I got my knee back. My that hurt a little bit. I should have done that because I still got bone bruising. That's gonna last for months. But the soft tissue damage has been more or less resolved in my knee. I've just got some scar tissue to work out. But I did my first leg day 2 days ago for like 4 weeks. It's just been pull, push, pull, push, pull, push. And I was actually getting sick of my workouts because I was having really good workouts every day, but it was rinse and repeat. And every time I was just trying to push myself a little bit harder, but I was wearing myself down because I wasn't having any leg days in the mix. I wasn't throwing like other types. Like I was just doing primarily push, pull, push, pull. And it felt so good to be able to use my legs again. I was doing glute bridges, 495-pound glute bridges, even though I told myself I'm not going to lift heavy. And anything that involved the knee, I was very careful. But I started off with the glute bridges, my knee felt fine, and I'm just, huh, huh. Oh, it was great. I had fun. Oh. So, what are you up to, Zain Abdel? Where are you from? Oh. Oh. Sorry for the noise. I'll lose my grip. I can't close my hands after that. I can finally get, I have my hip back from when my knee was injured. I was like hobbling dancing. I had no hips because I couldn't roll through my legs. So how have you been, Banda? Plodding through your internship? Keep your head up. Just keep trying to better yourself day by day. Life moves on, but I think it's important that you take time to self-reflect because life moves around you constantly and there's a lot that you can't change. But what you do have control over is your own behavior, your own thoughts, your own actions. And often by consciously reflecting and then bettering what you can change, the world around you also improves. But sometimes, like crappy coworkers, that's just really annoying at the time, but it's can just be like a little bit of a skip on the way to get where you want to go. So what do I want? What do I want to finish with? Maybe I'll do another set of push-ups. I don't even know why I'm using these bars. I just am. I ended up grabbing these things. These things were on top of my 25 pounders. I just ended up grabbing them just because they were in the way, and just started using them. Oh, I got a message. Hi, Faye. Thank you. Ta-da. More importantly, I have my knee back. The only thing I can't do is I can't kneel on this knee. Like absolutely painful. Like I'm talking like I'll want to cry type of pain. So other than that, it's like this hurts, just rubbing across like that. But I'm able to stabilize a little better. That's why I actually wanted to do push-ups today, is just practicing stabilizing that knee. I don't want to like do it for too long. I made the mistake one time coming down off my knees. Wasn't pleasant. Oh, my phone. There we go. Oh, I'm hot. How are you doing tonight, Ife? I feel like I'm almost in need of a haircut. I've been largely up to work. That's what I've been up to. Judge Jay. What's the thinking pose? I don't know. Yeah, I remember when my things were going bad with my ex. I ended up growing my hair out just because I wanted to sort of look scraggly the way I felt. And then like one comment I got is, I don't know how you can like not put like do this with the hair and get it all out of sorts when you spend all this other time sculpting your body. You spend all this work to like look really good, and then you just let your hair. Like I don't care. Mostly what I do with my body is just because I enjoy it. I like the way I feel. I like what I'm able to do. I like being able to lift. I like the communities I've found. I like the people I've met. I like being able to live pain free. I don't like like I had back pain. Like I have a chipped spine. So when I was younger, I chipped my spine diving in volleyball. And so like I took an X-ray. I got like all the regular spines. And one of them is just jagged. And what it does is, when I was a younger adult, it inflamed my lower back. So it was constantly stressing, constantly rubbing on my lower back, and so my back muscles were always inflamed. Once I started working out, I got a really strong base now. My back is thick, no back problems. Plans and push-ups. How's it going? I don't have any plans for you right now because I sort of took them out of the balcony because we're starting to get snow. So I'm out of plans for the year. Well, I could definitely give you some push-ups. Let's you know what? Regular push-ups, you get people doing that all the time. All right, so here you got me. Okay, let me just think about this, because before I hurt my knee, I've been practicing handstands. I'm gonna go start from a I'll try not to use the wall. Didn't have my balance. Let's try that again. I didn't warm up my wrist, which I should have done. You know what? I'll use the wall. I want to keep my balance without using the wall very much. Oh, I don't want to go down. Werewolf, how's it going? Okay, so I don't know if I have any pictures set up right now, but when I was in university, I had my hair down to my belly button, and then I chopped it all off my last year of university. I graduated at 24, and then I started working out. So this picture here, this is me at 24. I had cut my hair, I dyed it bleach blonde, 140 pounds. Just hit chest and tries, good man. I'm finally going to be able to get away from push, pull, push, pull, push, pull exercises. We started, like, I like my push, pull exercises, but I like when it's push, pull legs. With just push, pull, push, pull, I was having a hard time recovering, and I was getting bored out of my mind doing bench twice a week, and then primarily focusing on like flies once a week. So I'm hitting chest 3 times a week, hitting back 3 times a week, and there's only so much I can recover from. But I did my first leg day 2 days ago. I am 5'11", and actually, the reason why I grew my hair out to my belly button is because I could, and I assumed I would be bald by now. Every guy in my family, except for myself, started going bald at 18. So my dad started losing his hair at 18. My uncle went completely bald, like he started going bald at 17, like 18, 19, he was completely bald. And who knows, maybe my dad's not really my dad. Maybe my mother, but he's my dad. But do I know what age I stopped growing? Okay, so for myself, I was the shortest person in my class until grade 9. or is it grade 10? Until grade 9 or 10. And what happened is I was like a whole head shorter than everybody else in my class. And I spent a lot of time home alone. I grew up on a farm, and I finished the school year, and then we had our summer break, several months long. Well, over that summer break, all I did was I laid in bed and played video games. I played video games for several months straight. I left. I got back to school, and suddenly I'm looking at everybody in the eyes. And that was most of my growth. I even got the stretch marks on the back as a reminder of that. But then I hadn't grown too much since then. So I might have grown like half an inch since like grade 10. Meanwhile, there was a friend of mine that I had in like grade 3, 4, 5. Then he moved away to another school. And we met again in high school. In high school, he was as short as I used to be, even shorter. So like he was the shortest guy. He was shorter than I was, but he had moved away, so I became the shortest. Well, this guy, I graduated at 18. He was still short. I came back. I saw him again when he was 20, still short. I saw him at like 21, 22. The guy is like 6'5". So in like a year and a half, like the guy was like over 20, and suddenly he just sprouts to the point where he was like a thin, like tall, and he got his growth spurt. I grew going into high school. So the way in Canada here we had grade. So I went to school for elementary school till grade 3. Grade 4, I moved on to intermediate school. I stayed in intermediate school until grade 9. And then after grade 9, I had the choice to go to the high school for grade 10 or stay in intermediate school for grade 10. I stayed in intermediate school, and I got my growth spurt to grade 10. So grade 10, I was still in intermediate. And then high school, I had already grown, and so grade 11 and 12 I spent in high school. Yeah, well, what's interesting with height, scientists have determined, they found the genes that govern height. And as long as you have proper nutrition, scientists are able to actually determine within an inch how tall you are going to grow as an adult. Height is genetics. It's not like you drink your milk, and it's just as long as you're not nutrient deficient, you're going to grow. If at places in China where they like, there's a lot of people, and in the past there was a lot of famine, and just the nutrition wasn't as sustaining there, which is why they grew shorter. It was stunted development. Meanwhile, you get people like then you get immigrants that come here, and like a generation or two, their kids are growing to full height, same as us. There's no difference statistically in height. It's 16. Yeah, the best thing you can do. If you're hungry, eat. Eat good foods, right? Eat food that make sure you're not nutrient deficient, right? Make sure you're have more whole foods. Eat your meat, eat your vegetables. If you don't want to eat meat, just fine to be a vegetarian. But if you're going to be more like the vegan sort of side, you have to really plan out what you're going to eat, because a lot of vegan food doesn't actually give you very good nutrition. Like vegetables for sure, but there's a lot of food out there that Yeah, yeah. It really is like just like the only thing you really have control of is what you put in your body, and then after that, everything is governed by hormones and genetics. So I agree with that. Whoops. Right? This is the only life we got. You're only gonna get to go to high school once, so you might as well enjoy it. Even myself, I had hard times in high school. They are nostalgic. Like my hard times from high school are important to me now. They actually mean something. I At the time I thought I would never look back fondly, but what it's like to be young again. Yeah, not a lot of people, myself included, actually focus on their skin, right? Like skin is something that you can really take a handle on, but it's about consistency, putting together a plan and following it. It's not, oh, I got some bits now I got to wash. It's like hormones affect your skin as well, but skin care will go a long ways throughout your life. It's like brushing your teeth, right? You don't brush your teeth now. Um, you might start when you're in your 30s, but by then you're already going to have trouble, and you're going to look back regretting, like, why did I let it get to this stage? Ugh. Well, I'll cross my fingers for you. Still got time, but if you don't reach 6 feet, doesn't make you any less of a person. It's just particularly when you're young, you're still growing, you're hopeful, but you're also adjusting to your changes in your body. Oh, body dysmorphia is a real thing. Yeah, 5'10" is you're like an inch shorter than I am. And for aesthetics, it's proportions. Proportions is what makes like proportions, posture. If you have like if your posture's up, like if you have, like rounded shoulders, right, you get the neck that sticks out. Those are things in your posture that you can fix, and that will go a long way just to make you look aesthetically more pleasing. But then a lot of it is just good hygiene, right? And not even if you don't have like even with posture, you can have deficiencies in your posture. How you present yourself, like my head's up, um, like looking at people in the eyes and having a strong presentation. Like you're not like cocky, you're not just like in people's face, but confidence, right? And it takes a while to build confidence. It's not. You can't just say like do this and then okay. It's more complicated than that. Yeah, but like cleanliness, that like keep like make yourself smell good. That'll go well to well with interacting with your peers. Do I follow? Okay, so I got a couple comments here. What about stretching? Stretching is a good thing to do. It's better not to stretch right before you work out because you want your body normalized before you lift. If you stretch, suddenly there's more movement in the joints, or like not necessarily the joints, but like the muscle, like at the hinges, there's more movement. Your body stretches more as like if you're gonna do a squat, you don't want suddenly more movement in the in the hip flexors than you're used to. You want your body to be like every time to be consistent, um, and your body gets familiar with the movement, muscle memory, and go. It's better like for myself. I stretch in the morning. I stretch at night, and it's there's different types of stretching. There's mobility. There's stretching. There's like long dynamic stretches. There are different ways to. If you want to achieve something like the splits, you have to stretch for them and train for them. But stretching is always there. It's not going to be a big factor for the most part. Um, it really depends on how you're living your life. So if you're doing a lot of like if you're working and you're taking a planer and you're constantly pushing with one arm, right? Things are going to tighten up, and those things that tighten up, you want to stretch them out so that you don't, so it doesn't affect your body, it doesn't pull you in and affect your posture. So then for my diet for training, it depends really. Right now, I am focusing on eating more high-filling, low-calorie foods. Several years ago, I was on a 5,000 to 6,000 calorie a day diet for 3 years, and I got really big, and I was burning off all it. Like I was like really, really active and lifting weights. So I was consuming these calories, but I was burning them off, and it was hard because I was doing it meat, vegetables, rice. I wasn't having too much filler food, and it's hard to eat a lot of calories that way. And I would wake up like 5 o'clock in the morning, still full from my last meal at midnight just to eat again. I'm past those days right now. Right now I'm focused like to stay lean. I'm eating more high filling, low calorie foods. Um, Vegetables like your greens, they're great. Um, a lot of healthy food is only healthy in small portions. So, like your meat, understand how much meat you're having because you might have more like in like especially the fatty meats. Like understand what a serving size is, but it's like for peanut butter. I switched my peanut butter for peanut butter powder. I've switched my eggs for egg whites. Egg whites are king when it comes to high filling, low calories. I have some fun foods I make. I make myself protein ice cream. I make myself protein bars. And then, yeah, women don't like smelly dudes. I might add another thing, working joint mobility. Yeah, yeah, so mobility uh, is always important. Um, and you can rarely go wrong with mobility. Even when you're injured, right? Like if you're injured, should I stretch this? It's like, it depends. Like you should go to a physiotherapist and get them to actually look at what your problem is because sometimes something is tight because it's protecting something else that needs to be protected. And if you get rid of if you get rid of the bodyguard by stretching it, loosening up, then suddenly what needs to be protected could be vulnerable. So stretching isn't always what the doctor orders for recovery, but just moving within your range of motion without like. So if I get to here, I start feeling pain. Don't push through the pain. Just move where you can go, right? And then over time, you'll get farther and you'll like painless until you have like full mobility. You'll be over your head, and then that goes the same for everything. Well, egg whites. I'm not eating them raw. I've done that. That is the nastiest stuff. Like I cannot think of anything grosser than eating egg whites raw. It's I've done it. What I used to do when I was bulking in the morning, I would take a bunch of egg whites, take a glass of milk, and I put the egg whites in a cup, and I fill the cup with 2%, no 3.5 or whatever percent milk. So it would turn it basically into cream, and then I'd chug it. It made it tolerable. But you think height is mostly genetics? Height is entirely genetics. Yeah, yeah. I've tried. I'm a big believer in just trying things out yourself, I've used my own body as a science experiment. And to do that, I keep every factor the same, change one variable, see what happens. Give it an honest shot. Okay, okay, keep everything the same, change one variable, see what happens. And then you can actually measure in your own body exactly what type of results you're getting. Hormones don't make you tall, but it's genetics. But hormones govern. Genetics influence your hormones in carrying. Like you put something into your mouth, right? You're basically 1-2 from here out the other end, and what becomes part of you and what your body does with it is entirely governed by hormones. So if your hormones are out of whack, and it's hunger, right? Hunger is dictated by hormones. That is why for people who are obese, it is often harder for them to keep to a diet because their hormones are out of whack, which is how they got obese in the first place. And the food that they were consuming is often the stimulus that causes their hormones to go out of whack, which makes them still hungry while their fat cells are already full. But with that, it's like it sucks if you could be in a higher calorie deficit than I could be if you're much heavier and obese, but you might suffer more than me because of your hormones. Yeah, well, it does, but nutrition is just about having nutrition. And anything excess is just going to run right through you. So it's like protein, right? Like if you're eating only protein, you're going to have enough protein for your muscles, and whenever your muscles don't use, it's just going to go like you're going to get your calories out of it, and then it's just gone. But at the same time, like you got to make sure you get your micronutrients as well. And like the typical balanced diet, like even then, there's not too much of a difference for height, whether you're a little bit whether you're a little bit nutrition deficient or you're fully met. It's really like if you're experiencing a famine and you're just not getting your calories, it stunts your growth. That's how when people go look at different cultures throughout time, how they determine when there are famines. They actually look at the skeletons of people, and when there's famines, you get a wide swath of people who are all stunted developmentally, and it's just because they haven't got the sustenance to grow during their most formative period. And so you can sort of tell that this famine lasted for 20 years, or this famine was over this whole civilization, or oh look, this like you look at the burials and oh these burials are all you date them and it's like oh here it's they're living like kings, here now it's starting to slip, and then here it's down to the end. Yeah, see the science on that is a little bit needs more scientific study. I'll say, like how much you can actually gain, it's debatable. But just looking at your genetic profile, scientists have figured out how tall you can grow within an inch for just like your average American, average Canadian who's just not experiencing extreme poverty. right, you know what? While I talk to you guys, I want to spend a few minutes on the bike here. I'll get my, oh, I got it tied. That's awkward. Get out of here, you. Yep. There we go. Yeah, sleep is one thing everybody, myself included, it's just the way that we live. Oh, I gotta go slow. I need to really warm up my knee. I can't just go all out at the bat. All right, let's just get some movement. But sleep is the one thing we're all lacking. The way our society is set up, really, um, like we're set up basically to fail. Like it's like I remember as a kid having like an 8 o'clock bedtime, right? Well, you're an adult. How are you going to get like even a teenager, right? It's once you get to the point where you tell your parents no. Here, I'm actually going to grab my phone so I can see the chat here. I'll go this one, Twitch. Yeah, like so many bright lights, so much stimulus. All right, so click on myself, click on that, and live. Yeah, and even myself, I don't get enough sleep. But when I'm tired, I will sleep. I mean, like, I have an hour lunch. If I haven't got enough sleep, I'm taking my hour lunch. I'm gonna power nap. But we are creatures that thrive on routine. Even on a bad routine, you will perform better within reason, right? Than on like a intermittent, like there's no rhyme or reason, but you could get enough sleep. It's just hard to function. It's why like you get a boss that doesn't like you. Say you're working at Walmart or something, and your boss doesn't like you. Like the worst thing that they can do to you is not like take away your hours. It's set your hours up like all over the place so you can't schedule anything in your life. Like you're working nights one week, next week you're working midday shift, then you're working mornings, then you're working right like that like really messes with your psyche. See, my knee warmed up, and now I'm not having any trouble. Yeah, but even like shift work, as long as it's set up fair towards you, you can uh, you can make it work and just have a routine. But often people that are doing shift work, like you might pick up a second job, and you get conflicting this that. Life is hard sometimes. Oh, my water is all the way over there. No. Yeah. I'm really happy to have you guys come. Like, I was actually about to shut it down before you guys came on. I had a raid earlier. It's my biggest raid in a long time, 26 viewers, but like 20 of them were lurking. And so I saw like a big number up there, but I had no one to talk to. So I was like, finish up my workout, and then I'm thinking like, well, yeah, I had some stress to work out. I think I did that. I actually got mad today, and I don't get mad often. Today, my mother actually made me mad. I met with, I've said this story a couple times. I'm not sure who's caught it or who hasn't. But today, I met my grandmother for the first time since I was a little kid. Well, often too much sleep is because the body like almost forces you to have it because of what you've done leading up to that. And it's finally like, okay, you know what? Like we got to catch up. Screw your routine. This is more important right now. And you just wake up and you just feel off. Protein shakes aren't a great way to get nutrition. They're a great way to get protein though. So they're an easy way to put protein towards the muscles. But it's not that hard to get your daily amount of protein. You throw in a little bit of meat with every meal, and you're basically set. Protein shakes, they do work. Don't replace your meals with protein shakes. Sometimes, like if you're hungry and you just need to get a little bit of the hunger pain off, then by all means. But like too many people want to substitute their meals for protein shakes, and that's not going to help you. Yeah, see, protein is quite filling, so protein can keep you full for longer. And if you're hungry and you gotta eat, right? It's something that's quick, particularly if you don't have very good control over your own diet options, right? Like when you're living with your family, um, if you're reliant on them to stock the house, right? It's like sometimes a protein shake is what you need. It can fill you up, um, but it's not going to hurt you, but it's not going to get all your nutritious needs. Like have some fruit, have some vegetables, have more like have eggs, have a balanced diet. But like a protein shake is probably better for you than say like a processed pizza every day. It just comes down to how many calories you're consuming, right? So you need an X amount of calories to maintain what you have. If you're in a surplus, you're going to gain weight. If you're not having as many as you need, you're going to lose weight. And then your macros don't really matter as much. So how much fat, carbs, and protein is whatever you find works best for you. Some people thrive off of an entirely carb diet. Some people thrive off fat diets. I like a high protein diet. Yeah. All right. My throat's dry from talking loud to be heard. This is all, I don't know, I'm almost out of water. But yeah, 15-minute naps are shown to be, I think the most efficient. But sometimes, right, like say 50-minute naps, but if you're too wired, if you're stressed about something and if you give yourself a timer for 15 minutes, but you spend 10 minutes just spreading about, right? Like that's not much of a 50-minute nap, is it? And even for my 15-minute naps, I like to be able to like wind down first, start to like slow my heart rate, start to like any stress, let's start to really just let it go, get myself comfortable first, destimulate some senses if I can. And then even then, I might not even I probably won't set a timer. I'll just take a quick nap and then get up. and it's like I take this quick nap and get up, and I just like if I wake up and I get a little bit groggy, I'm not gonna like force myself to go back to sleep unless I'm planning to sleep for the night. It's like wake up, okay, get just oh, I had a nap, I woke up. Okay, let's get up, let's do something. All right, so my knee feels a lot better going on the bike. I just do it twice a day for 2 10-minute periods, and it's just what the doctor ordered. Yeah, even closing your eyes for 15 minutes, you're just destimulating your senses. A lot of what keeps you up is bright lights, blue light from the computer screen. All right. I didn't have the fan on me when I was on my bike, and it made me sweat. Pod save the queens. Yeah, that's a word. Lubricate. I remember a while back they did a bunch of scientific studies where they took people from other nationalities who didn't speak English and they gave them words and they got them to rank them from most beautiful sounding to like most like harsh sounding. And do you know which word won number one spot for most beautiful sounding word in the English language? It was diarrhea. I got a kick out of that. Yeah, the things you gotta do to get the lurkers out of the shadows, right? Just start throwing words out there. Lubricate. Um, I don't know. I don't want to. This could escalate quickly. Hey, lube is important. Uh, well, guys, it's been fun. I think I'm gonna wind it down for the day. I wasn't even moving my hips there. Song's over. Yeah, I after spending years doing partner dances, I've got the music. I've got the music in me. I've got the music. Now, whatever. I will never be able to not move my body to music anymore. It's just it's in me now. I just hear things differently than I did before. I get ideas. I have an imaginary partner that I dance with. Well, once the world starts up again, I'll they've started doing partner dances already, but I'm opting out. I'm not willing to take the risk to bring that many people into my social bubble, my personal space bubble. But one thing in particular, since I stopped partner dancing, I have gotten sick a lot less. I used to dance with 40 plus people a week, and some of those dances are done chest to chest, right, where you're breathing like whatever bacteria is on them is getting on you. And if I overtrained, my immune system would be crap. And then thanks for the follow. Oh, this is gonna be MUA Moi Keybat. Well, with partner dancing, the person in front of me, I want like more than myself. I want to make them look good, and I'm searching for that connection. Where if I get that connection, I can get to like the imagination's the limit. If I can think about it, I can get them to do it. And then particularly with the older ladies, they will let me make like we can just act like children, like we can like copy each other doing monkey poses, right? Like pretty much face to face, ooh and they'll go with me there. And we'll just be laughing though like the whole time, and they're willing to go with me on the journey to the journey is to look good at the end, but they're willing to go through the process of looking a little bit ridiculous in the middle phase to get there with me. You dance like people giving you $1. Just what's funny is I joined a circus group, and they taught me how to twerk, and they gave me the most intuitive the advice was very like masculine, not nice kind of advice, but it's intuitive. It was intuitive and it worked. They're just like, okay, we're stretching this position. Now just pretend like you're effing, and then you thrust, and all the meat just moves. It's just like there's a wave. It's like, holy crap, I'm twerking. Destroyed. You caught me at the end of my workout here. How's it going? I was about to send you a raid actually. We had some good conversations. I had some good company. This is my second raid of the night. I appreciate it. I'll make sure to send the love on. Find someone else to. Oh, right now, I'm just happy to have my music. Yeah, that's it. The meat just moves. It's just the way I was taught is just get this position, do this, everything just moves, and you're just like it feels like you're almost on a boat. Everything's just like. How are you doing, Destroyed? I don't think you were streaming a workout earlier, were you? I think you were doing Apex. All right. I am going to find somebody to raid here. I like to pose at the end of my workout so that I know where to find it afterwards when I go to look through the video later. Oh, Gentleman Lifter. Oh, did he just log out? No, he didn't. Good. I have somebody to raid here. He's a man with a beard. All right. Quarantine again. I probably not because of the because of the vaccinations, but there will probably be rolling quarantines here and there. I don't know. Quarantining is just hard. It's like you get out of it, and to go back in every time it gets more difficult for me. All right. Thank you for coming. Thank you all for joining me on my fitness journey here. My pleasure to have you. Like always, you guys are what make my home workouts more enjoyable and get me coming back. So thank you all, and have a good night.